Hello, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining me for another week. Just wanted to share a quick idea. In this lecture, we're going to be talking about faith and how it directly impacts your ability to manifest in this world. And I just want to say I think faith, having emunah, is a logical thing because let's say something is tough going on in your life where you don't know what to do. So the natural instinct is to get anxiety or to bug out or to worry. But it's been proven already that those paths don't lead to creative thought or solutions. They lead to you actually aging yourself quicker and getting sick and creating negative energy with you and all the people around you. So once you're already stuck in a bad position, don't make it worse by bugging out. So faith is a solution that was given to us by our ancestors that we could just believe that it will end up the way it was meant to be and we don't have to get personally involved in the situation with our emotions. And that will create a direct loop of goodness coming our way through being able to manifest and bring in positive energy to the people in your life. So without further ado, let's dive in and we'll check it out. Thank you. Okay, Leviticus 26:3-4. If you follow my laws and faithfully observe my commandments, I will grant your rains in their season, so that the earth shall yield its produce and the trees of the field their fruit. On the above verse, the sages of Israel bring up the following teaching that seems to contradict the verse above. It says in Kedushin, there is no reward for performance of a mitzvah in this world, as one is rewarded for mitzvot only in the world to come. If this is true, then how does the above verse inform us that we will keep the commandments? We will then be rewarded with rains and produce. Isn't there no reward in this world for keeping the Torah? Furthermore, why does the verse use plural for rain, saying rains? What are these rains? So we see the question already. And it seems to explain we need to look into the teaching of the sages. As it says in the Medrash, all of that which Israel eats and gets nourishment from is only due to their reward for having faith. As well, we could see the below Rashi on Psalms 37:3. Trust in the Lord and do good, abide in the land and remain loyal. So you see it says over here, Urei Emunah. The word faith is used in this verse, and Rashi says, you will eat and be sustained from the reward of your faith, that you believed in the Holy One, blessed be He, to rely on Him and do good. So then we ask the same question, isn't there no reward in this world for keeping the commandments? And what effect would faith or Emunah have that we can even receive reward in this world from it? And behold, the essence of faith is that one believes in divine providence, that Hashem Yitbarach is looking over us on all matters. And with all one's might, we place on Hashem all of our needs that will oversee and guide. And whatever you do get in this world has been set aside for you since the time of the creation of the world already. Whatever you have, whatever is coming your way has already been set aside for you. And it is known in the story regarding the Baal Shem Tov. May his merit rest upon us. There was once a time the Baal Shem Tov was on a journey with his student somewhere in a desolate area. The student was so parched for water until it became a matter of life and death. And he said, Rabbi, I'm parched enough that my soul may now leave me. And the Baal Shem Tov says back to him, do you believe wholeheartedly and with a pure heart that the second that Hashem created the world, He saw you in your current situation and has already prepared for you water to drink in this desolate area? The student didn't answer right away until he settled his mind and he let the question sink into his heart fully. And then he responded to the Baal Shem Tov, I do truly believe this, yes. They then walked a little more. They saw a merchant who was carrying water on his shoulders. And when he came near them, he gave them some coin, and they were given something to drink. Afterwards, the Baal Shem Tov asked the merchant, what's going on that he's in this desert with water? What are you doing here? The merchant responds back, my master went crazy and sent me to this one specific well to get water. And I've been walking miles already, and I have no clue why I'm on this mission. The Baal Shem Tov then says to his student, don't you see this divine providence? A master was created to go insane, all to provide you for water. And all of this Hashem saw during the time of creation, when everything was created. And since then has been watching over you with divine providence to worry on your behalf to quench your thirst. And when a person instills inside of his faith divine providence, then he or she will upkeep what is commanded in the Holy Torah to be pure before Hashem. As we could see below that this is from the Torah, and Rashi sheds some light on what this really means. In Deuteronomy 18:13, it says, Tamim tiyeh, you will be wholeheartedly with Hashem. You have to be pure with Hashem. So what does Rashi say? Walk before Him wholeheartedly. Put thy hope in Him and do not attempt to investigate the future. Don't speculate. You're going to bug out. But whatever it may be comes upon thee, accept it wholeheartedly, and thou shalt be with Him and become His portion. This one Rashi here, I think, is a big key to mental health today, of just freeing oneself from getting caught in the loops of their mind, just bugging out about things that they're not even in control over that are already happening. So we just have to accept and we're free. And let us preface with what's written in the writing of the sages, that the reason we don't get reward in this world could be found from a law in the Talmud that a laborer gets paid only at the end of his or her job. As it says in the verse, like a hired labor year by year. From this we learn, the Talmud teaches us, If someone's working for that whole year, you pay them at the end of that job, and they're going to continue the next year, and then you pay them at the end of that year. As we can see, it's not possible to get reward in this world until we reach the end of our life, and the job here is done at the end, which is to be a servant of the divine, and to live a life of Torah and deeds, and the payment for such would be at the end of the job. However, the mitzvah of Emunah is one without boundary or edge, since one is believing in the one without end, the infinite. And in that case, there is no need to say we will wait until the end to get paid, because the reality of faith ties you to a reality of no endings. So how could we say here that one will get the reward in the end? There is no end or finish to Hashem in his reality, so Hashem is forced to provide for you reward while you're still in this world, since there is no need to wait to the end. So basically, Emunah is tying you to an unbound reality, not boxed in. And it's common to be taught by the sages, we are only nourished through the power of faith. And this is also the explanation of the below verse in Habakkuk. Lo, his spirit within him is puffed up, not upright, but the righteous man is rewarded with life for his faith. Tzaddik be'emunato yichya. I like this because it's an acronym actually for my name. Tzaddik bet yud tzvi. Tzaddik be'emunato yichya. And I try to have emunah to stay sane in this crazy world. Because in truth, no human in this world gets any bonus or perk. And all the reward for his or her service down here, as all the reward for good actions down here, is only being seeded for the world to come. If this is so, what then does a man have to be worthy to receive the good things he or she does down here? And with what merit will he or she receive what they need to survive? And even someone who's keeping Torah and deeds in a fitting manner. So you could even be keeping Torah and mitzvot, you still have to tap into this level. However, based on our words above, that faith can bring you reward in this, since there is no aspect of being bound by a job that has an end, since faith is endless, it would seem that the answer is based on having faith one could receive what they need while on the planet. And this is why the above verse says that a righteous person will live by faith. That even though this person's a tzaddik, you could be a tzaddik, it's saying, you could be righteous, you will still need faith to get this thing called life and reward in this world. And is fulfilling all, this person's tzaddik and is fulfilling all that is required while down here, and has reward seated already for the future. But if he wants to have a life of nourishment while down here, then the only path is through faith, even for the tzaddik. Because without faith, what would a person use to justify the request payment prior to completing his or her days? And from here, let us return to the beginning and reapproach the verse regarding getting rains and fruits as reward, in which upon that we ask, don't we not get reward in this world? And in this we'll say a new thing, and let us look into the writings of the Degel Machane Ephraim in the name of our elder, the holy Baal Shem Tov, may his merit rest upon us, that teaches the main principle of Torah and mitzvot depends on faith. And similarly, it's written in Psalms 119:86, all your commandments are faith. Kol mitzvotecha emunah. It's literally a source from this whole spiritual teaching we're seeing in verses in the Torah and Tanakh. Falsehood is chasing after me, help me. And without faith, God forbid, one doesn't have Torah and deeds. And because of this, it rests upon faith to get any reward in this world. As we said before, faith attaches you to reality without end. So we see because of this, that as someone that upkeeps the whole Torah and all the commandments with full faith as fitting, it would be deserving that this person gets reward in this world on behalf of all the Torah and deeds kept, as they're all dependent on the foundational pillar of faith. So faith is the activator for all of your good deeds. You may be a great person, you may be a good guy giving charity. If you don't have faith, that's not necessarily going to create the proper karma loop for you that you could expect. Which is why some people could worry, hey, I do all these good things, why doesn't good things happen to me? Did you do the good things and have faith? Because the faith activates the karma loop for the good things. It's a crazy thing we just learned. And with this, we could perfectly explain the opening verse of getting reward in this world and the contradiction we discussed, which is that one keeps all of the commandments as a decree without needing to know the reasons, which means that someone is simply keeping the Torah due to simple faith. And through this, someone can actually receive all the rewards of the Torah in this world, and Hashem will provide for him or her expanded nourishment and resources with ease, since they are at a level of getting the reward while still alive. And this is why the verse says, I will provide for them their rains, in plural. In Hebrew, the word for rain could also be for material possession, gashmius. So geshem and gashmius is the same root, which rain is referring to your livelihood as well, which will be given in its time. Where it says, its time, be'itam, which is the time. Which time? The time that you're alive on this planet. So in this verse is telling you that the mechanism, due to the reality of having faith, it brings direct nourishment even in this world. Hidden in plain sight in this verse, it's the only strategic way to go about it. Thank you. I just want to finish off saying, I know some people are going to check this out and they're going to be like, you know what, I actually know a guy, he's got a nice car, big house, great family, he's got all the things. That guy doesn't believe in God, he doesn't have any faith. So what's going on? How did he get all of his stuff? And if you look very closely into one of the words we just read, it says, get your nourishment with ease. And that's a whole nother reality. Because some of these people with their big houses and great lives, some of them have to die from morning till night battling the world and hustling for, their whole entire life just to get to this place. They can't even enjoy it. They have so much anxiety. And then just so they can get old and pass it on for someone else who may not even be grateful for it. So that is a whole nother reality if you have to fight the world. This is a different situation. This is talking about with ease. So that means a life of faith should be able to provide an easier means for you to get to that same goal. So someone who has nice things or has all the things you think in the world, you don't know what their mental health is like or what they had to go through to get there. That may not be a reward for them. That may be a whole nother thing for them. They wouldn't consider that their reward in this world. They say, this life that I have of luxury, it's actually punishment for me. So it's never what it seems from the outside, so we shouldn't judge anyone. We should stay humble. The best life hack I can give is just to let go and have faith, and everything will end up however it ends up anyway. So just take a strategic mental approach, and Shabbat Shalom, and stay strong over and out. All right. I also want to just say I had a special guest sit with me for this. So one of my great friends and teachers. You come into camera view for a sec. We know we got Parshat.
Hey,
Sending love.
what's going on?